Hello Gothadorians, this is Black Math and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about the different subclasses in the game. They're like your character's profession, and you specialize in different types of combat. You got three subclasses. You got your warrior, mage, and your miner. Every player starts off non-subclassed. It's pretty basic. You don't have any gains or penalties in any area, and you can stay like this. Try to become a master of all trades, but it's very hard to do so because you're not going to have any distinct advantage in any area. So you can choose a subclass by completing the secret portal quest in Mount Braskin, and then you can travel to the secret library and choose which subclass you'd like to become. So, like I said in the mage set video, I play as a mage and I'm an expert at it. And I also have a miner that I use for a support character, and I'm pretty decent with him. I've played him as a warrior, so I know the basics about being a warrior, but I'm not going to be able to expand into great detail on like some of the nuances and things like that. Only a warrior who's been playing for years could tell you, but I'll do my best. So the warrior class, it's the most popular class, and in my opinion, it's the most easiest. You kill creatures using melee attacks, and then you defend with your AC. When you choose warrior, you get some permanent stat increases. You get plus 25% to your damage, plus 50% to your HP, plus 25% to your AC, minus 75% to your MP, and your magery spell maximum levels are cut in half. The places that you want to focus your level up points are damage, attack, and AC and HP. And I've heard that for every 10 points you want to place 6 of them in damage and 1 in attack, AC, and HP. And whether this build holds true throughout the course of 100,000 levels, I can't say, but it might. I don't know. The skills that you want to have are Lucky Strike, Multi-Strike, Hard Shell, True Strike, Death Blow, and I'm sure there's more that makes playing a warrior better, but I'm not really sure, so I'm not going to expand on it. All of the top players in the game are warriors, so that says something about the playability of the warrior class. So I'd say choose to play a warrior if you like no nonsense combat and you want to level up fast. Okay, so the next subclass is the mage class. This is the one that I play, and I know pretty much everything there is to know about it. It's a hard class to play, and because you don't gain damage through level up points, your damage comes from wisdom and wisdom levels, and that goes up independently from your XP levels. So to start off, mages get minus 50% HP, minus 75% AC, plus 100% MP, and plus 100% spell casting XP, and your magery max levels are doubled. So with the AC penalty, it's not wise to defend with that. Mages rely on the defense stat to survive combat, but that gives us a glass jaw though. If we're hit, we're very hard to hit, but if we are hit, it hurts a lot, and mages die a lot because of that. A miner's mage enchantment can help a lot with reducing those penalties if you're lucky enough to know a miner that's developed that enchantment. So to build a mage, you want to focus on 3 stats: HP, MP, and defense. And although we lose 50% of our HP, you still need it for those 1 in 50 times that attacks do get through. You need MP to power your spell casts, and you need defense to defend against melee attacks. When a mage comes up against another mage in PvP, or if you're fighting a creature that attacks with magic, this is where your HP and resistances come into play for defending. So if you're not really sure how to build a mage, I recommend that you add 1 point to HP, 1 point to MP, and 1 point to defense. So you need them all, so you really can't go wrong with that build. Okay, so now we get into magic, spells, and wisdom. And this is what makes a mage a fun class to play, but it's also like the most involved. I don't know where to start. Hold on. Alright, mages attack using magic. There's 2 types of magic: magery, that's learned by reading scrolls, and sorcery, that are custom spells that you create. Every time you cast a spell, you gain casting XP, which levels your wisdom. Magery, it's not very useful, and you should really only use it when you're just trying to get a grip on how to use magic in general. Sorcery is going to be your main weapon. You go into your spell book and you create a spell. You can either create a single target spell or square affecting spell, and those can either cause damage or they can be healing spells. You can choose which element that your spell is going to be, and you can choose how much MP a spell will use and what the chances are that the spell's cast will be successful. The more MP that you use for a spell, the more powerful it's going to be, and then the more casting XP you're going to gain, but you're going to have a greater chance of it failing. So like I said, it's pretty involved, but it's fun to play. Okay, so this is another reason why playing a mage is very hard, because for the most part, you always want to keep your spell casts at 50%, which is the maximum, so you can cause the most damage and gain the most casting XP. So therefore, you're going to miss half the time, and you're going to use twice as much AP as, like, say, a warrior would, because they hit every time. And the only spells that you want to have a higher percentage than 50% are PvP spells, because it really sucks to have failed casts in PvP. Healing spells, because usually just one weak healing spell is going to heal someone right up, and square spells, because they're not used that often, and you really just want to kill a creature without messing around with failed casts. But when you gain enough casting XP, your wisdom will increase, and you'll gain a wisdom level. But you need to watch this closely as you gain wisdom, because the MP available to your spells is going to increase as well, and the old spells can become quickly outdated with more than a 50% cast chance, and thus lowering your potential damage and casting XP. Okay, so when you cast upon something, you have to fight against resistances. Warriors have to defeat AC, mages have to defeat resistances. So before you cast on a creature, use your sense skill and see which element it's weakest on. Then create a spell with that element that and it's going to cause the most damage. But there's a cool trick with this. Square spells ignore resistances, but they also cause half the damage than a single target spell does. Another trick that you can use with square spells is to cast upon a square that a player is hidden on and you can't see them, like some of the stairways and the quest checkpoints that hide players in PvP realms. If you cast a square spell on that square, it's going to damage them, and you're eventually going to kill them. So, and this is also the way you kill the Grim Reaper in Gothador. Okay, so that's some of the basics about mages. Let's talk about some mage skills. Like I said in the mage set video, skills are so much more important than item stats. They affect the way that your magic works, so you have to get them right and use or not use certain ones for different situations. So let's run through some. The worldly skills on the Mystic and Zahar gems, those increase sorcery damage. You pretty much always want that. Anti-res and anti-res plus, that gives you a chance to lower resistances in PvP fight. Very good. Overcharge, that gives you a chance to deal 10 times your normal damage. Normally you want this all the time. Inner Wisdom on the Mystic Gems increases your MP, and that's always helpful. Mage Frenzy, this is for gaining XP, and I think this will affect you if you're below the top 100 ranks or if you're in the top 10 ranks. Magic and Sorcery Mastery, those save MP on casting, and that sounds great, but it's not, because it also cuts your casting XP in half, so stay away from those skills. Mana Conserve is much better. This skill will reduce the MP used in casting, and it won't lower the casting XP. Any mage worth their salt is going to have all the Mana Conserve skills. Multicast. This one is cool. Instead of having to cast multiple times on a creature to kill it, you can use multicast, and in one shot you'll be able to cast until it's dead, or you run out of AP or MP. One of the best things about multicast is that you gain casting XP on failed casts as well as the successful ones, and that doesn't happen with single cast. Quick cast, it gives you a better chance on casting Magery spells, but Magery sucks, so it's pretty worthless. Mana regen sucks too, because it only gives a small amount of NP back. The Zahar Mana Charm is much better because it gives you 25% NP back every hour. Much better. Okay, so that's the mage skills. Lastly, on mages, you gotta always try to hunt with a doubler enchantment. It will use twice as much NP when you cast and give you twice as much casting XP. And I know it uses twice as much AP as well, but I've tested it out and it works to the advantage. You'll gain twice as much casting XP hunting with a doubler with 1000 AP than you would hunting without it. And there are other quirks and details about mages like trogging and PvP and other things I could talk about, but I'm going to move on to the miners. So miners are the third subclass. They are the harder subclass to play, but they're the most versatile. When you become a miner, you gain minus 10% attack, plus 50% defense, and I think your wisdom and sorcery have a penalty to them, and you get plus 200% to your mining, smelting, and orb experience. Okay, so to play as a miner, you can choose to go the melee or the magic route. Melee is the easiest, and you'll go far like that. Bayer is just one example of that. But I believe that a miner using magic has the potential to be the strongest character in the game. And I say that because although you'll level your wisdom very slowly, the 50% bonus to the defense is the largest in the game. But so far, I don't know of any player that's in the top 100 that's built like that, probably because the crazy amount of AP that you'd have to use to do that. Mages, they'll use twice as much AP as warriors, and miners would use twice as much AP as mages. So 4 times the amount of AP a warrior would use just to stay on par. It's crazy. So I don't see it happening, but the potential is there. What else? A lot of miners take up foraging. They don't get any bonuses to it, but it's similar to mining, so I like to do that. But what I like the most about miners is their ability to use enchantments, and that their max enchantment level is double that of the other subclasses. They're the only subclass to have access to the doubler and a time shift. And miners have skills and advanced skills that enhance their crafting skills in the mines and the smelts. And there's also a skill called the Mine Fighter that gives a small amount of MP for miners when they mine. So that's it for the subclasses. I know it's a lot to digest, but you need to really know everything possible there is to know about the character that you want to play. So I hope that helped out someone, and I enjoy talking about it. So thanks for watching.